Hey YouTube, Youth Director here again. We are looking at my game room down in the basement, and we're going to turn this game room into a bedroom suite for my son. Currently, it's a pretty large space. We used it to house a pool table, an air hockey table. We have a papa shot. We also had some ping pong that we could put on the pool table, some darts and things like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it into kind of like almost two areas. We're going to have a bedroom area and then a seating area where you can watch TV, play games, and so forth. So this is the space that we're working with. We used to have the pool table sitting right here. There's a window right there. Papa shot still in here. Over here was the air hockey table. I have a closet that I built in over there and some seating over there, and seating right there, dartboard, things like that. We had a foosball table right here. We have a couple of posts right here, and what we're going to do with these posts is we're going to enclose those posts in a wall. Now this wall, just because I'm not for sure how long we want to keep it like this, I'm not going to make it a permanent wall. I'm going to make it to where it screws into the floor joist above it, and it'll probably have some, cable drops in it so they can hook their TV and stuff up. But it's not going to, I'm not going to rip out the carpet on the floor to install it straight into the concrete, because if we ever want to take it out, at least the carpet will still be there, and we can do whatever we want to with this room rather than kind of being stuck with a hole in our carpet. And so I think it'd be nice for them though to be able to have the space on the other side of the wall over here to have seating, and then between these posts right here have a wall and put their TV that's right there against the window on that wall. What they'll be able to do is just sit here, watch TV, play games, whatever they want to, have a space that they can be separate from the other part of the room where the bed's going to be. If they want to come over here and change and so forth, they can do that. This whole downstairs space is kind of nice. It has a little kitchen, another little seating area out here, and then down that hallway right there, it's a bathroom. And down this hallway right here is where my movie theater is. If you turn right and then left, you're where the movie theater's at. And they can come and go as they want to, because there's doors right next to me, right behind me. There's some doors that go outside right there too. So excited to get to work on this. I hope you enjoy this little false, kind of, not really a false wall, but a temporary removable wall that I'm gonna make. And yeah, thanks for being here with me. So once again, I have to clean up my garage to get ready to do this project. All the stuff that we have left over here on the table is from various other projects, mostly working on this mixer cart, the sound cart that we just finished up for the marching band. So I have to get all this stuff moved out of the way so I can have a nice clean table to work with. You can kind of see the wood that I have there, some 2x4s there. I have some drywall leaning against a washer and a dryer, which those washer and dryers, they went out during the band season. And so we ended up buying new ones, moved our old ones to the garage. They have since moved on from the garage to the recycling center, so they're no longer with us. But they're in the garage for this project. So yeah, cleaning it up, getting it ready, and then we'll get it done. So now that the area is ready, I'm taking the 2x4s and I'm making the top plate and the bottom plate. So I'm trying to be really precise here, measuring out where all the studs are going to go, where I need to cut the little cutout for the posts, because they need a U-shaped cutout to fit around the post on the bottom. The top does not need that. The top plate is actually going to be a little shorter. It's not going to go outside of the post. It's only going to go inside of the posts, because the top of the posts has a plate that extends beyond 8-foot span of our drywall.
in the length of our 2x4s. So the top plate's going to be a little bit shorter, and we'll have to come up with a different way to fix those to the center beam down the house for support. And so I have to fix it a different way to that. So marking all these, get them nice and straight. So right here, I put the two together to make sure they all match up nice and neat to where I'm going to put the 2x4 studs. So what I'm doing right here is I'm taking the top plate and cutting off the ends of the top plate so that it will fit in between the two posts nicely. And now I'm going to get a stud, one for the end, try to make sure it measures up to the length that I think that I need, which I think it's like 79.5 inches. I get another one out and I realize that that first one was a little warped. So I go through a few different studs here to try to find the best end cap that I can get. And I finally get one that I like. I get it measured, and then I get it cut to length, again, which I think is 79.5 inches. After I'm done cutting this, I move back to the bottom plate, and I go ahead and get the holes marked precise for wherever the posts are going to go. So it takes me a little bit of time using my speed square to get it right where I want it on both ends. And then I go to use a little paddle blade that I can put onto my drill. And once I do that, get through a little bit, and then the camera dies. But you'll see me here, we're grabbing the paddle, trying to look and think, which one do I need? And where's my stuff at? And I finally find it. Let's get it in there, and then it dies out.
All right, so right before my camera died, I was making some holes for the pole. We can slide the bottom plate down in and under the pole and not have to like completely cut and kind of butt up in. So I'll show you what I have and how we did that. So here is what you saw me doing. I was cutting a hole, and on the other side I just cut it out. That way you could slide it in through. We have all of our lines drawn for our studs. 16-inch centers. And there's the other one right there. Now at the top is a little bit different story. At the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out that bolt right there, that screw, and I'm going to put the 2x4 all the way up to that and screw the 2x4 into that. Same on the other side. Over here, the metal plate doesn't really allow me to put a piece of wood there as a top plate. So we'll have a top plate elsewhere in the center, but we won't have a top plate right there. It'll just go straight through that. And the reason why is because it's 95 inches from that metal plate over there to this one over here. The drywall's 8 feet, 96 inches. With a 2x4 being 1.5 inches, I just don't have enough room to play with to move it out further past that. So I'm just gonna have to go up through those holes. And I'll put 2 bolts in. Right now, whoever built the house only put 1 in. So I'll put 2 in, 1 through the hole already taken, and 1 through that one right there. And of course, we'll have a top plate all along here as well. What I need to do is I need to make sure the pieces I've cut already do fit, and then I'll cut some more. The pieces that are going to go on that end and the other end, the kind of end cap pieces, those are going to be about 81, a little less than 81 inches. The pieces that go up to the top plate here in the center are going to be 79.5 inches. So I have to cut all those and to get all this put together and then raise the wall up. Okay, looks like they fit a little bit shorter. I wanted a little bit snugger fit than I have,
but still you can see they're not falling down or anything. The reason I want it more snug is because the carpet, of course, it's pushed down here on the ends, bows up just a little bit in the center, and push down here on this end, and that will be fine once I put in the studs in the middle. It'll push that down, but I just wanted it to be just a little bit more snug, but I think it'll be fine. So now we're going to test fit the top plate and then measure, and to make sure that the 79.5 inches will work. It may not work. I may have to cut just a little bit off of less than 79.5 inches. We'll see. So I'm gonna measure that and see how that goes. I think the original measurement, 79.5, is going to work. So cut just a sliver off of this one, very, very small piece, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut 5 studs to go here in the middle, all at 79.5 inches, and hopefully it'll work right. We'll kind of test fit it. If it works, then we'll nail them all together and put the wall up. Okay, so now we got all those cut. We're gonna see how they fit together. My wife is working upstairs, and so since this is just a temporary removable wall anyway, sitting on top of the carpet, not a permanent installation, I'm gonna put it together with screws instead of putting it together with nails. I don't have nails long enough right now, and I don't want to bother her. She's directly above us working right now at work, so taking phone calls and so forth. So rather than doing that, I'm just gonna screw it all together, and hopefully this all fits. Use some construction screws for this 2.5 inch to get this taken care of. So if you've been wondering what I'm doing here, I'm using a 2x4 to level out the stud with the top and bottom plate, just by putting that across both pieces and then pushing down on it. Then screwing in allows me to make those nice and even with one another. Drilling some pocket holes so that way we can get these up into the floor joist. All right, so we finally have the wall, stud wall up, and we were able to figure out how to get these outer end caps attached to the ceiling. So I'll show you what we have. So up here, I ended up using these L brackets because if I put them straight through the holes of this post, then it would be slightly in, and we would have 95 inches at the top and 96 inches down here at the bottom.
And of course, it's not going to work when you have 8-foot drywall. And so we ended up using those L brackets, getting them just a little bit further out so that way it will work. So after that, we ended up putting some screws in through the top. So we have screws there just to hold it lightly in. Again, this wall is not going to be completely permanent. If we ever want to move it, the carpet will still be underneath it. We could take it down and it'll be good to go. All right, so this is going to be a good stopping point before we move on to the rest of the build, where we look at the electrical in the wall and also putting up the drywall and finishing the drywall as well. Thank you for being with me for this part of the build. And if you notice anything that I did that you have questions about, please put them in the comments below. Let me know what you think about me using screws on this stud wall instead of using nails. Again, my wife was at work, I didn't want to bother her, but tell me what you think about that. What's your experience, nails or screws, which are better in a stud wall? I've always heard nails are better, but let me know what you think. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.